Hey, what's happening, paisanos, and welcome to my kitchen. This is me, K-Wife. So today I'm going to be showing how to cook like 2 different kinds of rice because I have to cook 2 different types of rice anyway for 2 different things that I'm making. So we're going to cook some long grain rice and we're going to cook some jasmine rice. So the rice that was available in my grocery store, I just get whatever brands that are there, honestly. So I've actually never had this brand before. I usually just get the store brand, but this is long grain rice, regular. And then this is jasmine rice. You can also have like brown regular long grain rice. You can also have brown jasmine rice. And there's also a couple different types of other kinds of rice, like regular short grain rice, arboreal rice, which you use to make oh my gosh, I can't think of the word now. Oh, that Italian rice with stock and onions, and you fold like different veggies in. Oh my gosh, I can't remember. Anyway, you guys probably know what I'm talking about. It's like a milky rice. I believe you can use arboreal rice also to make like rice pudding. And today we're gonna make some rice. I'm gonna show you guys how, because I've probably watched a lot of videos on it. The meat is just in the background just because, I don't know, to trigger vegetarians. Like, it's like garlic to ward off vegetarians. I'm just kidding. I love you, vegetarians. You're great. I just have to cook the meat anyway because this is for tacos. So I actually put the long grain rice in this little thingy, and I'm gonna try to get more of these to put like flour and other things that I have a lot of. I have a lot of flour. We're just gonna get 2 cups of rice. Okay, so that's about 1 cup. Shake it off, shake it off. So we put 2 cups of rice in our saucepan, pot, whatever you would like to call it. Alright, so now we're just going to rinse this with water. So I'm just rinsing this through. I got like a little strainer. Got this for like $3 at grocery store. Depends on what kind of rice you're making, how much you have to rinse it, but just rinse it through a little bit. That will help those first few things to be gone from the outside of the rice. Because we put 2 cups of rice in here, we're going to need to put 2 cups of water. I mean, actually, scratch that. Because we put 2 cups of rice in here, we're going to need to put 4 cups of water. Because it's double the amount of water per rice. But that's for long grain rice. We're also going to be making another kind of rice that is different today. Alright, so I've got my first cup of water, put it right in here. And then I'm just going to put 3 more cups of water in here. 2, 3, and 4. Right, now we're going to put a little piece of butter in here. So we've got about 1.5 tablespoons of butter. So all we have to do, put it on the heat. Excuse whatever is going on here. Yeah, excuse me for not being perfect. Excuse me. Alright, so we've got this on. We're going to bring this to a boil. So we're going to bring this to a boil. Once it gets to a boil, we are going to cook this for 15 minutes. With the lid on, and then after it's done, 15 to 20 minutes, then we'll leave it with the lid on for 15 to 20 minutes. We're gonna leave that be. I'll show you guys when it's boiling, and then I'll show you guys when I take it out. Let's move on to our jasmine rice. So we're gonna use a couple of cups, and for this ratio, people have said you can use a 1-to-1 ratio or 1-to-1 1/4. So that means for every cup of jasmine rice, you can use 1 1/4 cups, something like that. They say you can use a little less if you're cooking for fried rice, which I am, but I think I'm just gonna do 1 1/4 just for the sake of people remembering how to cook it, and also I might use more jasmine rice later. So I put 2 cups of jasmine rice in here. We're gonna put 2.5 cups of water if we're doing 1 cup and 1/4 for each cup of rice. But first, we have to rinse this rice really well. Usually you would actually go through with your fingers and get off all the excess like starch from the jasmine rice. So I'm actually gonna do that, but I can't do that with like one hand. Okay, so making sure my hands are washed really well, which they are. So we're just going to go through and basically grab the rice, and it looks like my hand is a dinosaur eating this rice. I don't know why, but it does. Alright, so my hand is nasty. Okay, so just looks so weird. So as you guys can see, that water is really cloudy. So you can do that 2 or 3 times, or they do suggest, like some people suggest if you're making fried rice the next day, which if you make fried rice you should, I mean you don't have to, but people recommend that you actually use it with day-old rice. Yeah, so you can do this 2 or 3 times, or 5 times if you're gonna make 5 or more times if you're gonna make like fried rice, because if you're gonna make fried rice, that rice cannot really afford to be sticky because it has to soak up all the sauces with fried rice. We finally brought our rice to a boil, so now what we're gonna do is put the lid on securely, and now we're gonna go and turn the temperature down. So you want to turn the temperature down on low so it will simmer, and we are just going to put a timer on for 15 minutes. We got our rice simmering, so this should be done in 15 minutes, and then we will just let it sit for another 15 minutes to soak up all the water. That works really well for our long grain rice. I'm gonna put this into the strainer that I had, and we're actually gonna go through it again. We're gonna put some more water in here, and again we're gonna do the same thing, except for I just made it overflow. We're just going to go through it. My gosh, now I really look like a dinosaur. I don't know what is going on with my hand today. So for fried rice, you want to keep doing this until the water runs kind of clear. We're going to keep doing this a couple times. I don't know if I'm going to do it 5 times, but as our beef is sizzling over there, ground beef for tacos, we have 2 cups of drained jasmine rice that I've rinsed like a lot under the, I rinsed it twice with my hand, you know, like scrunching it with my hands, and like probably 5 or 6 times under the water. So I don't know, we're doing pretty well, I guess. So into our pan, and now we are going to put 2.5 cups of water. In we go, cup number 2. And now we'll guesstimate like a 1/2 cup. Okay, so we have about a 1/2 cup here. And so that's about 2.5 cups of water and 2 cups of jasmine rice. And we are going to put maybe a drizzle of oil in there. Let's try not to use olive oil so Uncle Roger doesn't get mad at us. Put a tiny bit of butter in there. I'll just put a drizzle of oil in. This is like actually safflower oil, but you could use avocado oil or vegetable oil, whatever. Now we're going to bring this up to a boil. We're going to put it on medium high and just wait for that to bring to a boil. Okay, so our timer is going off for the rice. We're going to shut that off. So what we're going to do is put a timer on for another 15 minutes because there's still moisture in here, and you want the rice to soak up all the moisture. You don't have to stir it or anything like that. You just have to do it for the time that it says. It's usually about 15 minutes, and then 15 minutes just taking it off the heat. We're going to take it off the heat, and we're going to let this sit. I'm going to put another timer on, 15 minutes for this. And then in the meantime, we're going to try to get this jasmine rice to a boil. And we're also going to put this on for 15 minutes. I believe 15 minutes. There's somebody online that did it for 30, but I'm pretty sure this is also 15 minutes. The lady from Thailand that I watched did it for 15 minutes, so I'm going to trust her. So I will put the links in the description below to the people that I got the inspiration for regular rice and jasmine rice. We still have 10 minutes on the timer for our regular long grain rice, which is soaking up that water. It's off the heat. We turn the heat off. And then we're waiting for our jasmine rice to bring to a boil. Then we're going to put the timer on for another 15 minutes. And yeah, I can't wait to see what the jasmine rice turns out like. And tomorrow I plan to make some fried rice. And I should be doing it in a pot similar to this. but I only have one pot that is this size. Okay, so we are definitely at a boil now for our jasmine rice. And I'm hoping I didn't add too much water, but we'll find out if Tea Wife messed up or not. So we're definitely at a boil. We're gonna put the lid on. And then I'm going to put it on low. Okay, I'm gonna switch the timer to 15. So we got 15 minutes on our jasmine rice, and then we'll probably let it sit for like 10 minutes to soak up the water, or until all the water is completely soaked up. And we're still waiting about 3 minutes on this rice. You can check the bottom of it, move the rice aside, see if there's moisture in the bottom, and then leave it for longer. Even when you're not technically cooking something, many times food is cooking after it's already pulled out of the oven or stove, because it's still around like in a hot environment, especially if you still have the lid on, or if you still have it in the area where the burner was hot, unless you actually shock it in like ice water or something very cold. So we've got about 30 seconds to go. That's good enough for me. It says 20 seconds. So I'm just gonna put my lid to the side, and then you can look at your rice and you can kind of fluff it with a fork a little bit. So, and this is probably easier to do with 2 hands, so 1 second. Okay, so we fluffed this up nicely with a fork, and as you can see at the bottom of the pan, you can kind of see that there's not really a pool of water there, so that's what we want to see. So this rice is nice and fluffy. So that is how you make long grain rice on the stove. That's how I make it, and I think it works pretty well. Works better than any other method that I have used in the past. So you can use that for pretty much anything. I really want to use this for stuffed bell peppers this week because it's really super easy to make, and I already did a video on stuffed bell peppers and I have a lot of them, so I really want to do that again. I have 4 cups of rice here that I made from 2 cups of dry rice, and I made 4 cups of cooked rice, so yeah. It's pretty awesome. And we're still waiting on our jasmine rice over here. It has about 5 minutes to go. As you can see, it's kind of cooking up nicely. This jasmine rice is, like, if it's very high quality, it's supposed to have like a jasmine scent to it. It has a really nice, you know, I believe it's either, I think this is jasmine rice from Thailand, but you can use it in a lot of different Asian cooking, and I believe there's a lot of different types of jasmine rice you can get, but I believe this one is from Thailand. So yeah. Okay, so it looks like our timer is going on for our jasmine rice. So according to our timer, it is completely done. So we're just gonna put a new timer on for around 10 minutes. And we'll check it at 10 minutes, and if it's not done resting at 10 minutes, we'll go on for another 5. Oh, first, we're gonna take this off the heat. Great. And I can either take this literally off the heat, take it at another burner, or yeah, maybe I'll just scoot it this way. Okay. Okay, so it's got about 2 minutes or so. I mean, that's good enough for me. So we're gonna check out this jasmine rice. I cannot wait to see what it is like, because this is the first time I've actually made jasmine rice. Oh my gosh, the smell is really good. Wow, that smells a lot different than the other rice. And there it is. It's really just really nice, like texture, and very nice smell actually. It smells really good. So you can make like some curry with this, like any kind of like Asian curry, or you can make fried rice with it. Usually if you make fried rice, use a little bit less water. Oh my gosh, I may just get jasmine rice from now on. It smells so good. Oh my gosh. And if you wanted to make sticky rice, I know you can like add in vinegar or something like that, but I really want to make fried rice, so I didn't want to make it sticky. I'm just gonna fluff this with a fork a little bit. So this made a lot more for 2 cups of rice, so just fluff it a little bit. I might have used a little bit too much moisture, but it looks like it's kind of drying out. So this is your long grain regular white rice. Regular long grain white rice. And this is your jasmine rice. And as you can see, you can actually see a tremendous difference just in how it looks. Might also be a little bit of a difference because of the fact that I used less water over here. I wonder if I use less water to cook regular long grain rice, what will happen? But people always say use 2 cups of water per 1 cup of rice. So for the regular long grain white rice, we used 2 cups of water for every 1 cup of rice. So we used 2 cups of rice, and we used 4 cups of water and a little butter. And then for this one, we used 2 cups of jasmine rice, and we used 2.5 cups of water. And then we put a little oil and a little butter in that one. So, so there we go. We have everything we need to eat. I mean, like, you can actually, I really love, I mean, I haven't really made my own jasmine rice before, so I'm super psyched. Because, oh my gosh, if I figure out how to make egg rolls, just have an egg roll. Okay, my favorite thing to eat at like a Chinese restaurant or something is a little thing of white rice, a tiny bit of, I just put a little bit of Kikkoman soy sauce on that, and then have my egg roll, and that's like my meal. Like, that used to be my meal growing up when I was a kid. When we would go to Chinese restaurants, that was what I would get. We used to go to Chinese restaurants all the time because my grandfather grew up in China. So in a way, he's Chinese. He's Scottish, but if you actually looked at him, you would think he was Chinese. It's really weird because he grew up around, he actually was born in China, he grew up there his whole life, and he kind of looked Chinese, which is really interesting. And he used to always say, you are what you eat. So I'm like, huh, that's weird. I'm serious, like, I could show you a picture of him or something, like, I don't know. So anyway, so we made so what I really love for this rice is I love anything with cheese on it, like regular long grain rice. You put some meat on there, some like beans, heat up some like black beans, put some, or if you don't have black beans, what I usually do is, I know this is kind of like the poor man's like meal or whatever, but I like it, rice. Okay, you got your rice. Then you add your like cheese, then you add your salt, pepper, and garlic powder, and microwave it. Melt the cheese in there, and you're all set. You're all set. Maybe even a tiny bit of tomato, like from a can. Oh my gosh, so good, so yum. I mean, so there we go. 2 different types of rice today, and we made both of them. They both turn out pretty well. I'm kind of smushing this one down into the container, so that might be a factor in why it looks a little clumped. So, or next time I could add a little bit more butter or some oil. Anyway guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. God bless, and happy gaming. See ya! God bless and happy gaming. See ya!